And we're back. I'm going to go ahead and show you part 2 of my real estate graphic design editing tutorial. The second part is going to be showing you how I add the real estate overlays, looking at like roads, local attractions, essentially going from this to this. So in the last video we ended right about here where we had finished editing all of these in Lightroom to get the coloring right. Getting into the real estate graphic design portion, we're gonna take the select 5 to 6 photos that we want to edit and bring them to Photoshop. So I'm gonna pick them first. I like to bring them into edit in Adobe Photoshop. All right, so we got this one pulled out of Lightroom into Photoshop. Now I'm gonna go and pull this one into. I want to do this so I can show just a quick overhead view of what's going on. Edit into Photoshop. I'm gonna pick 6 photos right now. And let's see, you gotta pick the best one of these. I like that one. That one's got the bridge. This one looks really perspective-y. This one I can see the 94 freeway real well. These two are pretty much the same. It's a little lower. You know what? Just make sure I go through all these. I like this one the best. This one right here. You just got a great view of the Coronado Bridge, great view of downtown, 94 freeway. We're gonna be able to show the on-ramp over here. And you can still see some of the stuff in South Park. We got Balboa Park here. Lots of good stuff. We've even got a plane landing in the distance. So bring that one in, edit in Adobe Photoshop. And this is always the one that takes the most time, is that map view shot, because we're highlighting so many roads and attractions. Whereas all these other ones that you'll see, we really only have to do like 1 or 2 paths and then work with those. We've got 3 out of the 6. Now I'm going to pick the low border shots. That one's good. This is Monday. These are ones where I'm going to outline the property and make them look like this. So I'm just actually going to go through and pick them, drag them next to each other. This is a good one from the side angle. I try to get one from each angle of the property so that these are a little too low. Ooh, that's a good one right there. I think this is the money shot. Okay, so I'm just dragging those next to each other so it's easier to grab them. This one, I don't know what happened. Why is it not colorful? Let's make it colorful again. Boom. I think it's because I made that one colorful. Alright, so I got these 3 right here. Highlight those, edit in Adobe Photoshop 2019. Alright, so first things first, we're going to create a new layer. We're going to go into paths, and this is where it gets exciting. I'm going to show you how to use Photoshop. Pen tool here. Pen tool. Sucks at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's great. You're just going to click around the border of the property. You start with one. This one's going to be easy. We're just kind of doing a box. I like to go like halfway through the alley, even though technically it's city property. So I'm going to try to go just outside the outline. So here, this point's a little too far in. I'm going to hold down the command key, click the point, and move it over. You can do the same thing with any point here. If you hold down the command key, you can actually move the point around. Alright, so we got this, this one's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to this corner and click select, and that's just going to select that area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control Shift I, and that's going to inverse, Control Shift I, inverse. So now everything outside the property is selected. I'm going to click on the work path, and remember we're already selected here on layer 1. Click on the work path, stroke path. You know what? It's a little bit too big of a, and what that's going to do is it's going to take this brush stroke. So I need to adjust the size of the brush stroke, bring it down just a tad. I always bring it to the middle because I know half of it's going to be, only half of it's going to show up because I'm only showing the exterior portion of the brush stroke. So I'm going to stroke the path. That looks good. Now you can go Control D to deselect. Select this. Now I want this to be orange. Already got, oops, sorry guys, you can't even see what's going on here. So what I did there is double click on the layer, just show you what that looks like. And we're going to go color overlay and orange. I like to pick a little bit. Let's see, you want to maybe make this a little brighter. That looks good. And if you want, you can also go in and select that, go Control Shift I, inverse one more time, and make sure that I'm just underneath the orange layer. In this case, it's the background. Click on brightness, and this is just gonna, because I have the exterior selected, it's just gonna bring down the brightness of the rest of it. So it makes the property pop a little more. Okay, great. This one's good. Control S or Command S, save. Now it's gonna pop up in Lightroom as a copy that is now saved. So we have the original and the version that we just edited in Photoshop. Alright, that one's done. Another one bites the dust. On to the next one. So Gonna go back to the pen tool, and on this one, I created a new layer just to be safe. I always like to start by doing that. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start, let's start with the property one more time. So if you do Command plus, you can actually zoom right in. This is the property right now, right here. I'm just gonna do a quick overlay of the property line. I'll make sure this looks square. And just a tad outside the property line, so it makes it look that much bigger. Alright, cool. And we're gonna do the same thing. Select it all, Command Shift I for inverse. I'm gonna check to see how big this thing is. It's gonna be way too big. Gotta bring that size down. Just a tad more. Okay, that's gonna look good. I can even pick the color right now while I'm at it. I want it to be orange. Alright, and because I already hit Command Shift I, it's already selecting everything outside of the box. And just right click, just show you what I did, stroke path, and then pressed OK. I already had the brush size figured out. So now I want to create another path, so I want to make sure this is a new path. And we're going to go over the streets. I'm going to show you a little bit more about the pen tool here. So this is interesting. I like to start right off screen. And I'll usually, okay, that doesn't look good. Now if you pull and grab with the pen tool, it's going to give it, it's going to curve the line. You see, however, I'm pulling and clicking and dragging, and that's just going to let you go around curved edges a little bit better. And I'm just going around each one of these streets, just so I can give it that blue overlay that looks so, that really helps just highlight what's going on, where we are, and you know, what's important around the property, the location. That's what people are buying, location, location, location. So I'm just going through here and doing exactly what I said, and just going, if I just click, it's going to be a straight line. If I click and drag, it turns into a curved line. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And then what we're going to want, ultimately, is to be able to end at the same spot. So I'm just actually going to skip this street, and I'll show you why in just a second. I'm going to go all the way across and around. And I like to keep this in one continuous piece. So I typically don't go over alleyways. I just don't like to. So I'm going to go, so this is what I'm talking about here. I'm trying to do one continuous piece, and I don't want to accidentally click the line, because then you end up with that. It accidentally, it'll actually add a point to the other one that you previously had. So instead, I'm just going to go kind of close to it, and then I'll show you in a sec. I'm almost done here. And when you click on the first point, it's going to end the thing. So now I'm going to go, it's going to end the path. So now I'm going to go back to that spot I was just talking to you about, and I'm just going to do the same thing I did before and drag these so that it overlays. It doesn't need to be perfect. You're not going to notice really, but now we've got the streets, the street paths marked off. So we're going to create a new layer. This layer is the overlay of the house. You can click and make it appear by clicking the eye. I'm going to create a new layer here. I actually want it right underneath that one so that this actually sits over the streets. I'm going to go into the street path here. I'm going to click Fill Path. I'm just going to let it go with any random color because I'm going to change it in a sec. So now I'm going to remove the path. You can see there's a little gap there, but you really won't see that once I change the color. I'm going to change the color to this lighter, this color blue, and I'll show you what happens. I usually pick that color because now I go into blending options. And again, I got to this screen by double clicking. Color overlay, you just click on that one, click the color. Now I'm just going to bring the opacity down on the layer so you can see the streets underneath, and it's just kind of like an overlay highlight. So we've got this this one nice and mapped out. Looks good. You got the streets. Now we just got to add the street names. So you're going to click trusty handy dandy text tool, and I'm going to call this, I know for a fact that this is A Street. Looks like we are, for some reason, white or orange. I want to make that white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a drop shadow. So again, double click, go here, and I'm adding a drop shadow. Bring that size down so that it's nice and tight around it. We just want something to help highlight the letters. I also don't like it when it's that dark. We're going to bring the distance down, the spread. You can play with this to your fancy, and I like to keep it black. So we got A Street here. I just click the movement tool and bringing that around. I'm going to copy that and paste it. That's Control C and then Control V to paste. I'm going to keep this one right, and I'm just dragging it up here. And what we're going to do is actually pull up the property address so that we get the streets right, 3347 A Street. You know what, why am I in images? We're not in images. We got to get to 3347 A Street, 92102. There it is, right there. And because we are oriented this way, so we're like north to south, there's the property, trusty Google Earth. We got B Street here, 34th on this side, 33rd over here, Felton Street here. That's pretty much all we got to worry about. So we got B Street. Now I'm going to copy that layer, add it over here. And I'm also going to copy that and add it over here. And I'm going to change these names in just a second. Copy it again, add it over here. We go Felton, and last but not least, we got this street right here. These two are a little bit curved. Make sure those are straight. All right, now I'm just gonna get my text tool and go in here. Let's see, what was that street? 34th, 33rd, Felton, and that's 33rd over there. Okay, gotcha. Felton, 34th. This one's 33rd. This one down here is also 33rd. Now let's make sure those are streets. Yeah, street, Felton Street, okay. On this one, we're pretty much done. Just gonna do a quick save. And make sure that came in okay on Lightroom. Yep, looks good. You can always go in and go overkill and grab this guy and go back on just right above the background layer and do that brightness contrast thing that I told you about, and bring down the brightness of the rest of it so that the property itself pops. This is the one that I'm going to try to highlight all of the nearby attractions in downtown, and we got the Coronado Bridge over here, we got the airport over here. I'm actually going to share with you a file that's going to be linked in the description that you can download, and it's going to have a lot of the resources you're going to need for this edit. So anyway, I'm just doing the same thing here. What am I doing? I'm not going to start with that. Got to have some sort of rhyme or reason. I'm going to start with what we did on the last couple as well. Go over this, just highlight the property itself. So go find it first. Command plus helps you zoom, lets you zoom in. I know it's one of these ones here. There it is, this guy here. Nice new roofs in the garage, so I'm just gonna highlight over that. I'm just gonna kind of do a rough box. And just make sure I go all the way around the property. Okay, that looked pretty good. Create a new layer, do the same old thing, Command Shift Inverse, Shift I for inverse. Let's brush stroke that, see what that looks like from afar. Is that good? Yeah, we're going to want at least that big. Looks a little nice. Okay, so we'll even name this property. On these bigger, on this map view, it starts to get kind of crazy with all of the different paths and whatnot. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the freeway now. Just clicking and dragging with the pen tool, going all the way around. See here, and where it actually ultimately meets the 5. Well, I think it's going to be right here. I need to zoom in a little bit. By holding down the Option key, you can change that afterwards. Keep going. Follow the freeway here. Scrolling around with my touchscreen mouse. now. I'm just gonna, because it does this weird little freeway split thing, I'm gonna bring it back to where it split and then come back. And zoom out, control, command, minus sign. And there we go, voila, we got the freeway. We're just gonna highlight that, create a new layer, call it freeway. Call this first one property outline. Create one more new layer. Okay, wait, we're gonna go on the freeway layer, go full path. Okay, now we got the freeway overlaid. Go in real quick, double click. Oh, don't want to bevel that. We just want to bring down the opacity and make it green. For some reason I always like making freeways green. Alright, cool. I think that looks good. Get rid of that path. Now we just gotta add in some streets. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go real quick because I showed you guys how to do this in the last one. And I want to make sure I show the entire. You can get as crazy and do as many streets as you want, but what's really important is just showing like kind of the nearest route to the freeway. And I'm actually, you know, I don't even think I'm going to be able to show it from over here. So I'm just going to let this fade out, but let that be kind of the connector piece to South Park proper. Bring it back. I'm going to fade that out over there. I'll show you how to do that after. Let's see, I'm just bringing this all the way down to show all these streets over here. Wow, this one wraps all the way around. Yeah, there are a lot of streets in this one. This one can get kind of tedious. But when you get good with the pen tool, it's not that bad. Let's see, now I'm going to pop up over here. Show some of these ones. Yeah, I do. Pop up over here, show all these streets. Okay. Kind of going all the way around. It's just really going to make it pop when you have all this stuff. And I don't need to go over here, but let's show that. Pop around. I'm just kind of going through. And we're going to fill that path. See what that looks like? Boom, look at that, that looks good. Just going to go on streets, do our thing, color overlay. I like to pick that light blue color for streets. Don't need to bevel emboss that. And we'll just bring it down enough to where you can see it very clearly, but you can still see the road and the cars underneath. Okay, so at this point we have all of the, we've done everything we need to with the pen tool. So I'm going to bring in, let's see, I'm going to bring in, I've got, I'm going to give you guys the 17th PSD, this one here, this one's good. So this one I'm just going to let you guys, I'm just going to bring in this file, attach it at the bottom here. It's kind of a big file, but the Dropbox link is something you can download off of the links in the description. And what this, the reason I'm going to be giving this to you is because it has a lot of resources. So when I say resources, these things like Petco Park, San Diego Airport, Coronado Bridge. I'm just going to let you, you're just going to want to highlight those and copy those. Copy and bring that into the file that we're working with here. So that's this one. Everything's too big, so I'm going to bring it a little bit, make it a little bit smaller and bring it over. Boom, that's good. I'm actually going to make it slightly bigger so you can see it. And look, happens to be kind of the same angle of downtown, so you can really use most of these. So we got Petco Park. I'll bring that over here. Just enough to where I can actually move Coronado around. That's Coronado. We got gas lamp quarter here. Let's bring San Diego Airport over. That's off the screen, but I want to highlight it, so I'm bringing it over there. And we got the bridge already highlighted. Let's go back to that and see what else we can pull. Okay, we got the 5 freeway. It's not going to be popping up here. We are going to need that arrow, this arrow here. So I'm going to grab an arrow copy, and I'm going to bring that over here so that I can grab that arrow, and now I can just mess with this arrow, make this as big or as little as I want, and it's going to help draw the attention to the property. Boom, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Okay, cool, so we got the arrow pointed out. I'm going to bring that below these. There are other things that I do want to highlight, so I'm going to copy this Coronado layer, and I'm going to bring it right here, make it a little bit bigger. Say, okay, what is that? Let's look on our handy dandy maps and see what the heck that is. Later, dude. Oh, it's actually nothing big there. We got Golden Hill Subacute and Rehabilitation Center, whatever that means. I'll click that and just copy and paste this. And I'm going to call this Golden Hill Subacute and Rehab Center. I'm going to make the whole thing a little bit smaller. And I'm going to bring it over where it actually is. Right by the Rehab Center. Boom. And of course what's important is bringing in the streets. I'm going to bring all those in. We already got most of those identified from the last project. I'm going to try to bring them as best as I can. So, and that's just pressing Command T. And I'm going to try to speed this up because we're going a little bit over time here. Felton Street, upside down. If I recall, that's this one here. A Street. Bring that down here a little more, tilt that up. For little tiny things, you can use the arrow keys, push it around. 34th. Let's go 33rd. We got B Street hanging out over here all on its own. Let's bring that over. This is B Street. I bet you can guess what the next street down is. You guessed it, it's C Street. Alright, bring that in right here. I'm just copying and pasting that, so I'm going to go in and call this C Street. And you see how this just kind of ends abruptly over here in the corner? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the streets, and I'm going to add a mask. What this is this is going to allow me to paint over what I don't want. See, I could literally remove the entire street. I don't want that though, but I do want it to kind of fade out at the end, so I'm going to get this brush, make it nice and big, and then get a nice little hard mask going. So, whoops. Make sure I'm on the mask down here in the bottom right, and click there. And it just kind of makes it a little softer at the end. Little details, not entirely necessary, but it helps a little bit. Anyway, finishing off the streets. Sorry, I'm all over the place. It's the end of the day here at the office, and I'm starting to get a little crazy. Bang on some drums in a little bit here. All right. Just adding in the remaining street names. 33rd there? Oh man, did I miss going 33rd all the way down? You know what I'm going to do? I am going to go, instead of going back and trying to add an actual path, I am just going to paint over that. And because it's already, because there's already a, boom, just added in the street. Because I'm already on this layer and it's already creating, everything is going to be, any color that I use is going to turn purple because I have it color overlaid with this blue. I don't really have to worry about what color I'm using on the brush. Anyway, that makes more sense now. We've got 33rd continues there. And this other 33rd, oh, we've got a lot of 33rds. I got a Felton's there. I'm not gonna even name that street because it's irrelevant. Okay, I gotta find this 33rd over here. Which one is it? Sometimes when okay, there we go, found it. This one I'm gonna use on this street name, and I'm gonna copy paste it. Copy paste. And I try to just adjust these so that whichever way it's facing. Oh, we got a lot of street names on this one. That looks like a little too much, to be completely honest. But we'll see what's necessary. Let's look back over here. What are we looking at? We got A Street, Ash Street, A Street, Ash Street, and Beach Street, 2 E's. All right, Ash Street. And let's see what we're dealing with over here. We got 33rd Bancroft. Gotta love Bancroft. Alright, so guess what? I think we are looking good here. Well, what do we got? We got Balboa Park. I'm just going to go online, grab a photo of Balboa Park. Golf course, because that's the golf course at the bottom right there. See if I can get a logo of this thing. Balboa Park Golf Course. There was another one up here that looked good too. Balboa Park Golf Course. Just the one? Yeah, that's the one. Alright, I'm going to grab this logo. Doesn't look like it's the best quality. God, wish it was a little better quality than that. Let's see which one's a good quality one. 100 years? Nah, this one's better. Copy. Bring that one into Photoshop. I'm going to show you how to make these logos look nice and clean. Actually, you know what? That looks... I'm still going to show you how this is done. I'm just going to grab that tool. Make sure the tolerance is around like 40. I like to go 30 for the tolerance, really. So we're going to deselect, grab this, and just Control-Shift-I. Boom. Now you see what happened there? We end up with just the outline of the golf course. And let me see if anything else pops up around it. Yep, nope, that looks good. We're going to double click that, add an outer glow, make that thing look nice like that. And we don't even have to add the little, I think that looks good. Yeah, it's kind of hard to read, so I'm going to make this outer glow a little bit more thick. Looks like we even got a little bleeding over here on the right. What the heck? Alright, well, we got something funky going on. I'm just going to go over it with this. Bada boom, bada bing. Clean that up. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions about what happened there, but essentially I just went over the mask. There was a little bleeding on the edge of the photo where it didn't get quite caught. So anyway, this is looking good. I'm going to make that a little bigger so you can read it. What the heck? What is up with this? We got this bleeding, this weird bleeding going on the sides. You can see it's just on the edge of the photo. So anyway, I clean that up, and we're good. So what we have here, hey, we always got that extra credit at the end. Go around the everything that's not the property. Control-Shift-I. Zoom in again, and I'm just gonna go make sure that the path isn't selected. I'm just going to go in here and, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Go right above the property thing here, brightness contrast, bring down the brightness just a tad. Now we're looking really good. You can really kind of pinpoint what's going on. We're not too bright. You can see the property in the background. And yeah, that looks good. You'll see here in Lightroom, that looks nice. We got B Street, A Street, 34th. I'm going to check the street names real quick. 33rd, Beach, Ash, Bancroft, Cedar. Okay, we're good. We named all the streets. We're solid. I didn't miss one. Oh, but didn't get the 94 freeway. Good catch, Alexio. Good catch. Let's get that 94 freeway. 94 freeway. Logo. Interstate 94. We can use this. Copy. Copy that, sir. Bring that. Drop it in. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this. We're going to Control-Shift-I. Come on. What is this? How did he get inside there? Going to go ahead and, how did it get in there? Alright. I'm going to change this tolerance to 50. See what happens. Going to change the tolerance to 90. See what happens. Change the tolerance to 0. See what happens. Okay, there we go. I just had to make this contiguous. There we go. Had to make sure it was contiguous. That's the problem. All right, so make sure that that's checked. Contiguous. We're back at 30. And you know what? I'm just going to delete that as I don't want any of that. Bring this over to the 94. We'll just bring it up. Call it the 94 freeway. Double click there, 94, so I can find everything afterwards. I'm going to give you the file link too, just so you guys can use this one and see exactly what happened. Command D to deselect. We got the 94 freeway here. This is nice. Everything else seems to be good. These two 33rd streets are too close to each other. I'm just going to bring it up here to make it look a little better. Just got to find the right one. 33rd, it's got to be this one. Boom. Now we're looking solid. This looks nice. We got everything highlighted. You know, you could get crazier with these streets, but at a certain point, you gotta just kind of decide against it. Now I know that there is the South Park. Let's see, there's Bonafide, Hamilton's. You know, maybe it's worthwhile to find some logos for both of these. Let me take a look really quick. Bonafide, South Park logo. Bonafide. Okay, here we go. Copy. Bring that guy in here. Bonafide. I'll try to do it without, you know, you don't want to like make it look too big. Do the same thing. It's okay if there's some white spaces, because when I go in and add this outer glow, really that opacity is just too much. Alright, I like that. Just to show some restaurants nearby. And what else do we got around here? We got Bonafide is right next to Kindred. We got Kindred. Kindred, there's the logo, copy image, bring it in here. Make it a little smaller. We're going to give Kindred a little outer glow as well. We're going to let that one be a little bit less profound though. Kindred, looking good. What else can we throw on there? This is really just a Show everything you possibly can. Hamilton's. Okay, Hamilton's. Let's go to Hamilton's. Hamilton's Tavern, South Park. Whatever, can't find Hamilton's. We're gonna call it a day with those two. Alright, we added all those together. Look at that beautiful property outline right there. And if that doesn't sell the property, I don't know what will. Kevin, you definitely want to make sure you're getting these on all of your properties here moving forward. Alright, so we're going to go and work on the last couple. These ones are going to be a lot easier. We've got the 3 pulled out here. We're just going to get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. These are the ones we're going to outline. So I'm going to show you how to do it real quick. I just get the pen tool, find the property. There it is. I'm going to do just like we did before. On these ones, I'm just going to be a little more tedious. If I hold down the option key, I can change the angle of the pen tool. I'm going to really outline right over the property. There's like a little bit of this gate thing going on, so I'm just going to go around that, bring it down, bring it up around this little hedge, bring it just about over here to where I think the fence is, and I'm just going to keep going. You know what, I'm just going to go right through that house and hit the street, and we're back. So I'm going to go create a new layer, and inverse. I'm going to stroke, make sure that this it's a good size. Stroke path. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we're going to do one more layer. Make sure this isn't selected. While we already have the whole inverse selection, I'm going to click on solid color. Boom! What happened there? Look at that. You didn't see that coming. And make sure. Okay, cool. And I'm going to make this nice light blue. This color blue, and just do a quick opacity reduction. Now when we check this out, I don't really like that color blue. I'm going to make it a little more teal, but I don't want it to be too green. Increase opacity just a tad more. Don't want it to be too much. Boom, that makes the property pop. Look at that. Alright, so just save that one, and I'm on to the next one. This one here, we've got a good looking property. Gonna go to the street view, and just go right over where I think the edge of this property line goes. It's not going to take very long with this guy. Let me zoom in if I really want to make this nice and dainty. Show them just outside. Looks like it ends right there. Just come in the middle of the road. That looks nice. See how that looks? Just going to grab the path and inverse. I'm going to stroke this thing because we already know it's good from the last one. Nothing should have changed. That one looks a little smaller. What the heck? Come on. Make it tiny bigger. Stroke path. Okay. Whatever, that's good enough. Oh, you know what? I didn't do it on a new layer. I always like to keep this clean. Do it one more time. Stroke path. Now I'm going to deselect. I'm going to create a new layer down here. Call it solid color. And we're just going to do the same thing we did before. Opacity down just enough to where you can really see make the property pop. All right, last one here. This is the last one. We're in the home stretch now. I think I went just over an hour, but I'm trying to explain this to you at the same time, so usually it only takes me around 45 minutes to get through this stuff. An entire property. You can kind of see I'm just flying through this now. More detailed you are here, the cleaner it looks in the final product. I don't like to have too many changes, so fence is going to get cut out on that one. Here we are. to the head there. Looking good, lady. All right, so we did it. Full-on tutorial. Almost jumped the gun there, I guess. Let me just finish this last one. And we are getting close. Let's see it. Bada bing, bada boom. I'll make sure that that's not selected when you're adding in, adding in this guy. Solid color. Get it to the nice little color of blue right there. And let's bring that opacity down. And look at that. We are donezo. So, you can see here we got, I'm just going to bring all these together so we can compare them and see the work that we've done together. Why is this guy right here? I don't want that guy. I want this guy. Move him around, get out of the way. Okay, so we got this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that is how you edit real estate graphic design. Thanks for watching with me, guys. Remember to follow Cashflow Alexio on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm going to be putting out more tutorials on this and maybe a little bit more about how we sell commercial real estate and how to underwrite a property. You know, I'm getting creative. I'm just going to start putting out some insights into the industry and our day-to-day work. So be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and let's learn some stuff together. Leave some comments. Let me know what you'd like me to make a video about next time, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks, guys.